Welcome to the Being Soul Confident podcast with me, your host, Nicola Tonsaga, the podcast where we are talking all things soul, where we're widening the conversation about what soul is so that you can trust it, live it, be it, so that you are being soul confident. Soul Confident podcast. I hope you are really well, and I hope life is feeling expansive for you at the moment. And what I really wanted to come on and share today really is how we can keep ourselves stuck in levels of healing, particularly when we are looking at things from a soul and from an energetic perspective. So, we all know through a variety of different levels and modalities of work that we've done that we are vast energetic beings and that we carry, or we can carry, imprints of past lives, past experiences, past energies, ancestral, generational, relational, karmic, that we are here and have an ability to process and actually to release. So we really create change in a fundamental, super profound way here in this timeline in who we are now. Now, I don't believe in a personal soul. I believe that soul is a whole and collective energy. And so with that, I don't believe in past lives that are specifically related to me. So for instance, if I have a past life experience, I don't believe that that is necessarily the energy of my soul that has been carried through all those different lifetimes. I believe that when I pass from this life, everything that I am, all of the information, the experiences about me that soul is absorbing every second of every minute of every hour of every day, I believe all of that goes back into a collective soul, the whole soul, the collective energy of soul. And that soul learns through the experiences that I have journeyed through. And it looks at the resistances, it looks at the challenges, it looks at how to overcome those experiences within the physical human experience in order for it to fully actualize within the physical human experience. And so when somebody is born and an aspect of soul chooses to incarnate, it recognizes within that human being specific talents, specific skills, specific levels of resilience, resourcefulness, emotional intelligence, mental capability that actually enables that soul to say, if I bring these limitations from a past experience, this person can help to release the limitation, release the energy links, release the resistance to create a freedom within that experience and within that soul experience. So when I have had, for instance, past life experiences, I believe that they are experiences that are held within that collective energy of soul, but that I am able to work with and work energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually to actually release the constraint of that energy, and therefore to create a freedom from that limitation, that restriction, that experience. And that's my belief through the experiences that I personally have had and the work that I've done with soul. And I recognise that it's probably not necessarily an experience or a belief that you hold per se, but that's very much my belief. And I really believe that we are here from a soul purpose perspective to actualize soul through the human experience. And that is a purpose for all of us from a soul purpose perspective. And the way that we all do that is to be as freely ourselves as we can be, which means that we work through the resistance within our energy. We work through the limiting beliefs we have, the recurring patterns, the that stop us, that stall us, that sabotage us. So we're really here to create a freedom and a full expression of who we are, because that release of limitation and resistance in that experience enables soul to express freely through us. So the experiences that I have, for instance, from a past life perspective, if you like, when soul was choosing to incarnate within me, it recognized within my physiology, within my makeup, the ability to actually work with those specific experiences, those specific energetic resonances, and to actually release them and to create a freedom, or at least to create a neutrality, so that they are not a direct influence on how I move forward. And in the process of me doing that, what happens is soul learns what pieces need to be in place within the human experience to truly create the ability to move through limitation and resistance. And so soul is always learning all of the time. So let's come back to what I really wanted to talk about. And let me know, by the way, whether this resonates for you or whether it doesn't, and let me know why it doesn't. Yes, because that aspect of being able to be curious and think about, well, actually, this doesn't resonate is one thing, but really also being able to understand why it doesn't resonate. That's really the thing that helps us move deeper and embody a belief, or actually step back and wonder, actually, is that belief that I hold really true? Or is it just something that I believe because I have believed it for a long time, but maybe it isn't true anymore? So just, let me know how you feel about that. But coming back to how looking at healing, particularly looking at, let's have a look at karmic and energetic resonance, how that can really keep us limited. And I'm going to share my perspective on experiences that I've come across, particularly, and if you can hear a cat meowing in the background, that is Indy, that is my Siamese. He's quite noisy. I'm not sure whether it translates onto Zoom, but if it does, that's why. So when we look at how we move forward, and when we look at the reasons that we don't move forward, we need to be really clear about whether we are creating an excuse for a reason not to move forward. And because there's a really immense awareness of energy now, because there's an immense awareness of historic energetic wounds, such as the witch wound, such as the sister wound, when we look at recognizing that there are energies that travel through the timeline, so the ancestral timeline, when we look at the fact that karmically we may feel as though we are transmuting, or that we are here to transmute a certain level of karmic resistance or karmic debt, however you like to look at it. I personally don't like that word. But we are vastly more energetic aware than we were, say, 20 years ago. And we are more sensitive, we're more empathic, perhaps, than we were 20 years ago as well. So there are subtle energies that we pick up on. And none of those subtle energies are wrong. And if we feel as though we are here and part of our reason for being here, part of our journey, in terms of how we journey through life and how we journey through us, if we recognise that some of that is actually to clear the ancestral timeline, if we recognise that some of that is actually to clear generational wounding, perhaps we're here to clear a collective aspect of wounding. Perhaps we are here to bring harmony to a sisterhood wound. And none of those are wrong. All of those are absolutely valid, absolutely real. And you will feel, perhaps some of you, that part of your process, part of your journey is absolutely to actually move through those particular energetic resonances, to clear them, and not for you, but to clear them on a wider perspective, to clear them from a collective perspective, but also to clear them moving forward as well for future generations. But what we look at, and what I really want to talk about in terms of getting stuck, is where we use an energetic, let's call it a limitation, an energetic limitation, where we use that as a reason to not move forward. So where we actually use that as an avoidance technique for the thing that we need to do, for taking a step to change something, for taking a step to change ourselves. Now, you may think, well, actually, I know that this particular, and let's say it's a sisterhood wound, I know that this sisterhood wound is holding me back. And I know it's holding me back because it is making me close off. It's preventing me from really being open to trusting the other women around me, to trusting the people around me. It is preventing me from being vulnerable and asking for support. And all of that is really valid. But when we look at energy, energy is always in motion. And energy moves when we move. Energy moves when we take a decision and we decide to change something, or we decide to align to a finer frequency, a higher vibration. And when we are in a place where we are thinking, I cannot do this because I have this particular wound, I have this karmic energy that's influencing me, I have this a sisterhood wound, I have this witch wound, which means that it is difficult for me to actually be this person, to say this, to open in this way, to allow myself to have this experience. That is actually limiting not only your ability to move forward, but it's also limiting your ability to clear the resonant energy of whatever that particular wounding might be. And the reason that it's limiting your ability to clear that particular emotional resonance is because when we change anything, and it doesn't matter whether we change something on purely an energetic level, the fact of the matter is that when we actually create an embodied change, it has to move through 4 layers of being. It has to move through the spiritual, the energetic, it has to move through the emotional, it has to move through the mental, and it has to move through the physical. And what that actually means is that when you are sitting in that place where you are actually waiting for the energetic resonance to clear, you are not actually demonstrating to your higher self, to that aspect of soul, to the universal energy, you're not actually demonstrating that you are willing to create the change that you are wanting to create, because you're not taking action. You are waiting for that particular wound to be healed before you actually change anything, before you actually create a change, before you actually take a step to do something different. It is in the act of you creating that step that you need to take that you actually signal, not just to the universe, but to your own energy, your own body, your own nervous system, that you actually signal that you are ready to release that particular wound. But not only release that wound, you are ready to do the work that it takes to release that wound. And there's nothing wrong with needing to know that you are in a space where you can take a step. But it's also really important to recognize, am I sitting in this space waiting for this particular aspect, this energetic resonance, to actually clear before I do anything to take a step in the direction that I want to take? Are you actually sitting there? And this might sound harsh, but sometimes we need the hard truth. Are you actually sitting there waiting for that particular aspect to clear and using it as an excuse not to take action yourself here, now, in this physical experience of life? Are you saying to yourself, well, actually, this is not going to work for me because I have this karmic baggage. So therefore, there's no point me doing anything until this karmic baggage is cleared. Or are you allowing yourself to be in a state where you're saying, I know I have this karmic, this energetic resonance that needs to clear. I know that I need to meet that. I need to understand it. I need to meet it in order for it to clear. So how can I take steps? How can I put my energy, my physical energy, my mental energy, my emotional energy, and my spiritual energy in motion to meet that resistance, to understand what I need to do to release it? And if you are in the former, please know that change happens because you decide to change something. And in that process of deciding to change something, you may feel as though you are doing a two-step. So you may feel as though you are taking 2 steps forward and you are taking 1 step back. And that is because in the process of meeting that change and in the process of meeting that resistance that you're trying to clear, what is actually happening is that you are recalibrating. So as you meet it and as you meet an aspect of resistance, you are moving a little bit deeper. As you meet another aspect of that resistance and you really work to clear it, you're moving a little bit deeper, but you might feel as though you're taking a step back at that moment, but you're not. You're meeting that energy and you are doing a dance with it as you recalibrate, as your frequency changes, as you shift it. But if you don't make a move to meet it and with love, if you are sitting in meditation to clear it and you are not doing anything else to really enact that clearing through how you show up, through the choices you make, through how you use your voice, through how you change your belief patterns, then you are never fully clearing that energy. You are only clearing it on a very minor level, and you are not clearing it through the entirety of your human, physical, energetic experience. And if you do not clear it through the entirety of your human, physical, energetic experience, you don't clear it fully, so it still lingers. So we all have much more awareness of energetic resistance, for want of a better word, that we are here to move through. But that energetic resistance moves when you move, because you are demonstrating to your own self and to the universe that you actually are ready not only to meet that energetic resistance and to clear it, but you're ready for what clearing it actually means. You are ready for the person that you become after you clear it. You are ready to meet that version of yourself. If you are in the space where you are waiting for that to clear before you take a step, you will be waiting for much, much longer than you need to. And if you remember, perhaps it's easy to remember to help, we co-create with all of the energy of spirit. We co-create with the universe, we co-create with soul. And what that means is we take a step and that energy takes a step to meet us. Where we are waiting for that energy to take several steps before we meet it, we are already so much more behind than we might believe that we are. So if you are in that place where nothing is really shifting, and you know and you feel or you believe that there are energetic reasons for that, particularly energetic reasons that create to a past experience that's not of this life, a generational, an ancestral, a karmic reason. Where are you willing to actually start meeting that and taking action, to enable that energy to really start working with you and shifting for you? So just something to perhaps consider in this episode this week. It's an absolute joy to share this time and space with you. I wish you a wonderful few days ahead, and of course, stay being soul confident.